Do you have a large family and you are constantly feeling overwhelmed? Well, I have got a few simple solutions for you. My name is Ashley and I am the mother of 10 children, ages 20 down to 3 years old. And so I have been in this large family mom mode for quite a few years, and I have 6 tricks that are going to help you stop the large family mom overwhelm and start feeling like you've got everything under control. Okay, my first tip is that you have an established wake time, bedtime, and nap times for your kids. You should obviously have those for yourself too, but it's really super important that you have them for your kids. So our children, our youngest children, naturally wake up right around 7 to 7:10 in the morning, but they're not actually allowed to come out of their rooms until 7:30. 7:30 is the magic time. On a weekday or on the weekend, that is the time that they know that they are allowed to leave their rooms and come downstairs. And that gives me the certainty of knowing that I have until 7:30 in the morning to get done what I need to get done in the morning. So sometimes that is sleeping in a little bit later. Sometimes it's just getting myself ready in the morning and out of my bedroom by 7:30. And sometimes I'll get up extra early so that I have time for anything really. If I want to get a head start on cooking, like if I have a catering job, or if I want to get some books read. There's all sorts of things that that I'll wake up early for. But sometimes honestly I just need a little bit of extra sleep. But knowing that no matter what, my kids are not going to be out of their room until 7:30, that gives me the same starting point every single day. Now, of course, they can get up and use the restroom and go back in their room. We're not militant about never leave your room, but really restroom is the only thing, unless somebody is not feeling well, or maybe somebody had an accident and they need help getting cleaned up, or using the restroom. Those are really the only things. You can wait to get a drink of water, but by and large, 7:30 is the time when they come downstairs. Now, my teenagers, I actually have to go wake them up. They're not trying to get up early at all. But knowing that my younger kids are not coming out of their bedrooms until 7:30 gives me a fantastic start to the day. Now, the same thing goes with nap time. We do nap time at the same time, and I only have one child right now who is taking a nap, but the rest of the kids have, they know that they're supposed to be playing outside because I actually stay in the room with my 3-year-old while he naps. So I didn't used to do that, but for this particular child, he needs me in there with him so that he can fall asleep quickly. He takes a 1-hour nap and then he's up and we're back to it. But I know every day that I have that 1 hour where I can get some quiet work done and my other kids are playing. And so I know that there is always that one time period in the afternoon where I have a little bit of quiet time. And so then the other time is bedtime. So bedtime for us, for our younger kids, again, it's right around 7:45 to 8 o'clock. My husband actually takes care of the bedtime routine, which frees me up even more, which is wonderful. But it's the same time every day, unless we're out of the house, obviously. We don't rush to get home for bedtime to get the kids in bed. When we have a little baby in the house, maybe we might do that just to keep them on their little routine. But when we're at home, bedtime is at 7:45 to 8 o'clock. And that lets us know, okay, the hardest part of our parenting day is over now that our younger kids are in bed. And so now we can focus more on our older kids and our teens. We also have not a bedtime for our older kids and teens, but more a time when they need to just go on up to their rooms. They can stay up later and read or whatever. But at 9 o'clock, they all either go into another room or they go upstairs to their rooms. So those are our times of certainty throughout the day. We know exactly what's happening. So it's not just, we're not flying by the seat of our pants. We have that framework in our day. Now, my second tip is that you have an order to your day. This doesn't mean that things need to be a schedule. I don't personally do a schedule other than those bedtimes. It's more a flow of the day. So to give you an example of how our order of the day works, we have breakfast in the morning and then we do morning chores. Then we start homeschooling. Then we do lunch. Then we do nap time. While I'm doing nap time with my little one, my other kids are getting things cleaned up from lunch. Then after the nap time, we finish up schoolwork. Then there's afternoon chores. While the kids are doing their afternoon chores, I'm starting dinner. Then we have dinner. And then after dinner, we all clean up. And then after dinner cleanup, there's usually some playtime. That's usually the time too that I'll, work out in the garden or, finish up laundry or things like that. Then we start our evening routine, and then there's bedtime. So there's always a flow to our day. Unless, of course, again, we're leaving the house to do an activity or things like that. But most of the days, that is the flow to our day. Now, Saturday is different, obviously, and Sunday is a little bit different, but they still hold the main structure of the day. My third tip for getting rid of large family overwhelm is to have a little bit of time with your husband at the end of the day. So for us, at 9 o'clock, when our older kids are all, either up in their room or just in another room, my husband and I have basically an hour to an hour and a half before we go up to bed. And so a lot of times we'll watch a show together. We really like historical shows, or we'll listen to a podcast together, or occasionally my husband will have some extra work that he needs to get done. And so I'll just sit and read, but we're together and there are no other kids around. So we have that one-on-one time together every single night, unless again, there's, an activity that gets in the way. But we really make a point of spending an hour to an hour and a half, just the two of us together. And it doesn't mean that we're talking, because I'm not a huge talker. My husband isn't a huge talker, but we're together. So we can talk, we can have the conversation, we have closeness. And that is something that we have been doing for years and years and years. And it's the highlight of my day. Like, I love spending that last hour to hour and a half with him. And, that really, it's a nice way to end the day. Okay, my fourth tip is to prioritize being presentable. Now, this is going to mean different things to different women. Some women are more high maintenance. I myself am a high maintenance woman. Some women, are low maintenance, and that's totally fine. However it is, though, that you feel human. So that means showering every day. It means running a brush through your hair, brushing your teeth, basic hygiene stuff, obviously. But then, because there are moms running around who just don't feel like they even have time to take a shower. I'm telling you, like, if you make the time to do these things, you will feel so much better. You'll be able to operate on a higher level than if you allow yourself to just, stay in grungy clothes all day. Now, you might be in a time of life like directly postpartum when, it really truly does not feel like you have that time. But I would encourage you to figure out how you can shift your day around to get yourself to the point where you're presentable. I came to this conclusion for myself that this was absolutely essential, because I kept having people stop by unannounced at my house, and I would be completely mortified by what I was wearing and the fact that my hair hadn't been brushed and I had a stain on my shirt and probably hadn't brushed my teeth. And it kept happening until I got the clue. Okay, Ashley, you need to make sure that no matter what time of day it is, that whether someone stops by announced or unannounced, that you are not in a position to be embarrassed by it. And so that's really what, got me to the point where, the first thing that I do when I get up is I take a shower, I put on some makeup, I put on, presentable clothes, so that no matter what, no matter who stops by, even if nobody stops by, I feel and I look good about, I feel good about how I look. It's important. And I realized that once I started doing that, I was able to accomplish so much more in my day, and my children actually took me more seriously. So that it has benefits that you can't even imagine will happen until you actually start doing it. But again, this is going to mean different things to different people. So find your comfort level there. Okay, my fifth tip is to always be working on manners with your children. Now, again, this is going to vary from family to family and your family's culture. In my family's culture, it's really important to me that my children learn to say please and thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm in the South, so we say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir down here. But also, table manners are super important. Teaching your children to practice thankfulness, especially with the things that their mom and their dad dad do for them. So, when my children, when I have them take up their laundry in the evening, they say, "Thank you, Mom. Thanks for doing my laundry." Just looking for ways to be thankful for what other people have done for them is a really important manner to teach children. Another one that is really important, especially for large family moms, is to teach your children the importance of using inside voices. Now, my husband is Italian, and so he is naturally louder, and my children, I feel like they have inherited this as well. But I'm constantly reminding them inside voices, inside voices. And manners are one of those things that a lot of the times it doesn't necessarily feel like it's working, like they're not picking up on it. But I guarantee you, Mom, if you focus on being consistent with the reminders and requiring them to say please and thank you and have inside voices, it will start to pay off eventually. Another big one is to clean up after themselves. So when they get up from the table, remind them, take your dishes with you, take your napkin, throw it away, put your dishes in the sink, or, even go a step further, put your dishes in the dishwasher. When you're teaching your children to clean up after themselves when they leave a room and things like that it all starts to have a snowball effect. My last big tip is to get your kids doing chores. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever that your kids should not be pitching in to a large extent in your home. They are there, they live under the roof, they need to help with the upkeep. So in our house, I have, everybody has chore assignments. We have a very specific way of doing it. We do not rotate chores because that is something that, I don't want to have to keep track of. Everybody does the same chore, and then maybe once a year, sometimes even once every 2 years, then I'll change things around a little bit so that people start to learn how to do things. But having your children do chores is essential, especially in a large family. Mom can't do it all. Even mom and dad can't do it all, and they shouldn't be doing it all. We need to be teaching our children how to take care of themselves, how to take care of their own home one day, and the place that starts is in their childhood home. So it's really important to have them pitching in, doing chores alongside you, of course. You don't want your children doing all of the chores, and you would never require them to do that, but they need to be pulling their weight in the home, and this will help a lot with that overwhelmed feeling. So I hope that this list of 6 things was helpful for you. I hope that this helps you pull out of that overwhelm of being a large family mom. Being a large family mom is hard. It's hard being a mom, period. But when you've got lots and lots of children, it can get overwhelming really, really fast. So I hope that this list was helpful to you. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so that you are notified whenever I have new videos coming out. And I hope that you will leave me a comment below if you can think of something that I didn't mention in this list. I'm always looking for other ways to get rid of that overwhelm for large family moms and just moms in general. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.